Hey everybody, welcome back. Monte here, and I hope everyone's been just having a blast with Skylines. I mean, I look at my Steam's list, that's all I see is people playing Skylines. What I want to talk about today is the map editor. I've done a quick how-to, not really how-to, but I just wanted to introduce the Terrain.party. Now, I did that early access and they changed the paths, and I have the video all updated with text and all that stuff, but I want to go ahead and make another video while I make a map, and I can also talk about the map editor tools just a little bit and maybe go in more depth later. So what you're going to do is, if you want to get your real world, you're going to load up the game, go to your tools, map editor, and hit new. Now this doesn't really make a difference besides what kind of trees do you want. Do you want tropical? Do you want like your little pine trees here, or just your regular old temperate trees? So let's go with let's go with temperate, even though my plan is to go desert. So this is your map, as you can see, or it's kind of hard to see with this lighting. But we have a 5x5, so we have 25 total squares. Now that's what's workable if you use the mod. If you play the game without the mod, you can unlock a total of the 9 squares. So keep that in mind when we hit up Wabomi, our terrain party. Now I've dragged my little guy over here. We're not in Las Vegas, but we're quite close. I don't know if you guys have heard of a famous dam in the United States called the Hoover Dam. Now it is just outside the wonderful city of Las Vegas, and it's the Colorado River. You can see that it's built up this big nice lake reservoir here due to the Hoover Dam, which is this line right here. And I figured, let's make a desert map. It's got some different elevations, and we can play with how to make water go in certain directions and all that stuff. So I just wanted to show you some tips. Now, this is your 5x5, so this is your 5, your 9 or 25, depending on how you're going to play it. So if you're going to be making a map, I tend to still like to keep the 9 square core, because not all the players are going to want to do the unlockable 25 squares, and I understand that. So I want to put the Hoover Dam actually within the inner 9, and it's okay to have some wasted squares in the water, and you can actually get this nice flat land over here, and we might play with the terrain a little bit and even flatten out some areas, because you want some buildable areas on all these 9 pieces of terrain. Even though Skylines does an amazing job about building on hills, you should check out my Crown Point map that I've been building on and putting posts out on. There's some really nice photos. I'll actually throw them up on here so you can actually get a look of how Skylines looks in rough terrain. So what you have up on the top right, I'm not actually blocking it, is this map view. I suggest if you're in the US, the shaded relief is nice. It gives you a, there it is, a nice look at the terrain. However, the topographic map is really pretty nice. However, I usually just open up a Google Maps on the side so you can really zoom in. So here's the Hoover Dam. This is what we're looking at. And we're going to try to build out this area. See, I kind of want to flatten this out for some city building. And we'll allow Boulder City to be here, and then who knows, maybe raise some terrain here to get a little city right up on the lake. We'll see, because when you build a dam and you play with the water, maybe this could be a disaster in the making, so we'll see. Now, once you have your area selected, go ahead and hit this little cloud, which is a little export. Notice you can zoom in and out if you want to change your square size, like if you want to actually try to do like a state or a country or something like that compared to a smaller city area. So go ahead and let's click this export button, and we're going to call this the Hoover Dam. There you go. It's what it's called, so that's what it's called. Now it's waiting for Terrain.party. All of a sudden the download will kick in. and I use Google Chrome. Depending on most browsers that you use will all of a sudden show your new download. So boom, there it is. We now have in our downloads folder, most likely, your pictures, images that this just made, and the README. Open up the README. It will give information on each one of those images. Some of them, they kind of mess with the resolution a little bit. They do maybe a distance change or something like that, or they sometimes even merge the two. So this gives a lot of good information. It also talks a little bit of custom information based on the map that you have chosen. So there's some good stuff here. Of course, enjoy. This is what's changed since the early access. You've got to copy these. Now click on your C drive. Now even though if you have your game installed somewhere else, you're going to want to go to your C drive on this one and click on users. Then you're going to click on your username. Mine's Monte Rico. Now unhide your folders and make sure you click on Appdata. Now local. Now City Skylines is made by Colossal Order. So let's go in that folder, City Skylines. Then you're going to want to go into, you think maps. If you have a map, this is where they go. However, you're going to go into Addons, MapEditor, HeightMaps. Don't go into this shortcut, just HeightMaps right here. And we're going to paste it on in here. Now, I did do a Hoover dam. I didn't like where I positioned it, so I did play around with this once. This is the Hoover dam. Now, notice, I've had the game open. You don't have to restart. Import map. Here's our the Hoover Dam maps, okay? So let's go ahead and just load up from the top. So this is what the first one looks like. Really not a good choice. So some of you guys are probably like, this is what I'm ending up with. How are you figuring it out? Well, I just don't choose that map. I'm going to import the next one. Oh, looking a little bit better. I can see that the lake is up here and the river is here. But then look at our merged. Okay, even better. But then watch these USGS maps. This is after a 30-meter adjustment, I believe, something like that. And then we have this one down here, which doesn't have the adjustment, so the lake gets a little bit lost. So we want to kind of look at, is this one the best? Or is this one after the 30 the best? I think we're going to be able to work with both of these pretty well. Oh, actually, this one right here, the USGS. Boom. Because that makes the river look the best. Now we need to do some editing. Here are your tools. The top left is your normal little button if you want to look at the water, your resources, your wind, outside connections, which will be your harbors or planes or all that kind of stuff, your highways even, your rail, and then you have your terrain map. So you can see that this actually did pretty well. It's looking pretty neat. Gives you a good idea that this actually looks a lot like here, like that, right? Looks pretty close. And we haven't even started working on it yet. That's how you move the files. That's how you get it done. That's how you load it in here. I hope you stick around because I'm going to play around with the map a little bit and show you what to do. So this is good up here. It shows you your stuff. Now, once you start clicking on your tools on the bottom, this is how you export. But the very first one is called terrain. Right? You get your brush over here, you get a brush strength, you get some different icons. Now, in my first one, it was early access. They had a lot more. It was kind of unnecessary, I guess, so they just narrowed it down. So these are the tools that we have to work with now. I'm sure we'll get some more brushes as we go. See, there's a folder for brushes, so we'll be able to get more as we go on. Now, with your terrain, you have a shift tool. So let's just go up into the lake where you can raise things up with a left click, or you can lower things with a right click. Okay, now the brush size. Boom! Now we can raise it up with a left click, lower it with a right click. So we can create some craters, we can do all kinds of crazy stuff. Yes, 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 cool. So that's the terrain. Now the brushes, you get the idea? They all just look like the image right here. See, they're all pretty nice like that. Make the brush size in half, boom, there you go. It's going to be like that. Alright, so that's how that works. We can make some cheesy crater mountain thing. Pretty cool, right? Then we can fill it with water and have it volcano out. But there's all kinds of cool stuff with this. Now, that's the shift tool. The next tool, my favorite, the level tool. Now the level tool, we're going to go back to our just big brush here. You're going to right click to choose our terrain height. See, we were at 0. If I just keep it at 0 and I just start left clicking, boom, it's going to make a hole and it's going to level the terrain to sea level or 0 elevation. Now if I right click, it's going to match the terrain that I right click on, and that's a really good way to even out your mistakes and really find a nice way to clean areas up like that. So the level tool works wonders. We're going to make a bigger brush. We're just going to clean out the whole lake like that. Okay? So, very cool. Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. Bam. That is your level tool. Right click to select your terrain height. Left click to actually do it. Select, same thing, you can choose your brush. The brush strength now. This is, let's talk about the brush strength. When you do this and I left click, boom, look at that. That was max, it's like your brush, how much paint you put on it. You know, I put a bunch of land on it. Now if I do brush strength 0 and I left click, and I'm like, what's going on? Nothing's happening. That's because I have no paint on my brush. 0.16. See? It's a little slower now. You can actually see it. Let's go 0.07 and let's flatten these out. Oh, see, it's nice and slow now. Now you're wondering, oh, why would you want to mess with your brush strength? Well, that's if you just are tired of it going all of a sudden extreme, one or the other. The soften tool, that's another way to kind of clean up your elevations, and you can make your brush really big and kind of clean things out. It just fixes out the weird bumps, you know. It just kind of almost ages the terrain, which is really nice for this kind of stuff up here. You know, we want to keep some mountainous look. I mean, that's the whole point of this place. However, it's just good to know. I mean, especially when you import maps and they're just really tough to build on like this, you don't really know what to do. So you just kind of, let's flatten it out, you know. Flatten this area out up here. Soften all this up. There you have it. So let's flatten this back out now. Get our lake back. Okay. You got all this, right? Actually, lower this again. The lake is more here-ish. Here-ish, like that. Okay. See, this is all extreme right now, but this is then where you go, okay, I want to soften this, and I'm going to half the brush size, and let's just soften this hill out. You know, and you can actually make this whole odd style go away. And it just looks like a nice, like a little beach or something. Alright, so there you have it. Now you also have a slope tool. That's the very last one, which you can say terrain height. Let's increase. And when you drag it, you get a nice slope. Right? So just left click and drag. Right? There you go. And it'll go up and down. So pretty cool stuff. You can make some pretty neat cliffs. This stuff all just, it takes playing with. I mean, you just come in here, it's like a whole different game. It's like painting, you know? Like, it's just, you have fun with it, design your little maps. I'm going to be making a whole pack of them, and I'm going to hopefully just release them in little Monte packs, and what they will be is completely tested, completely played in real world regions. So right now it's kind of random ones that I've done, but I've done like a Crown Point in Oregon, which is the Columbia Gorge, really nice with some waterfalls, so I'm having fun with my water. Which brings me to the next point. You get your water tool. That's this guy here. Now you have two things here. You get to place a water source, which is important if you want to control how the water flows. Or you can just move the sea level. So for example, if I just wanted to move the sea level and say sea level is at 40, all of a sudden when I click out of this, boom, sea level's really tall, and that's how we have it. So, but that doesn't help you with, if you click on your water up here, there's no flow. That's just stagnant water. Yeah, that's just steady water right there. So let's lower our sea level, get out of this, get all that water to just go away. There you go. When you get out of the water map, it reloads it. So That's not what we want to do. What we want to do is place a water source, because we want this lake to fill up and we want it to turn into a river. So we want this to naturally happen. So I'm going to do this two ways. I'm going to put this guy up here and we're going to start. You can raise him up to see, oh yeah, it looks like it's going to really overfill, but don't worry. Or you can just lower it all the way down and it'll actually suck up water. So that's what we're going to want to do downstream, maybe, depending on the elevation of the map. So this guy, we're going to want to have him go up like this. It looks like it's going to try to flood a little bit, but man, that's the whole point of this. We're just playing around with it. And I want to get another one at the head of the river. So this is actually the dam right here. It actually kind of grafts it in as an element or an elevation change. So maybe at some point, if you so choose, you can actually put a dam up and build the Hoover Dam. So we want to get some high flow here. So let's get this going like this. And then we'll see how this works. It starts bubbling out. I actually speed up the game, even though we're in a map editor. You want to see the real flow of this water. How is it going to go? And what I like to do is get my level editor tool ready, my level tool, make a little small circle here, small brush, and right click here and say I want to build a wall real quick. So because I don't want it to divert here, and it just helps me know where I need to fix things. You know, like this. I need to fix that a little bit. Okay? The lake is filling in, that's good. But I want to make sure that this water follows the river. And it's kind of a pain, but this is all part of building the map out. I mean, there's games that are just this, where you're playing with the terrain and such. See, that is a lot of flow. So what I want to do is click on the water again, click on the cylinder, and just lower it down like that. Okay? Now it's not bubbling out so much, but let's click on our water icon in the top left, and you can see it. Boom. It's pushing out a bunch of water, which is going to add flow that way, which is creating this nice tsunami effect. And it's pushing the water downstream, which, getting funneled, is increasing that current. And that's how you control water direction. There's no simple way to just say, I want water to go this way and drag it. You know, you have to actually create a water source, control how much water it's going to flow out of that water source, and create land that will tunnel it. Luckily, the real world is working fine, and the Colorado is growing. So yeah, I still think we got a huge flow here. So we still might want to lower this a little bit more. Just a little bit like that. Let's see. Okay. There we go. That's getting a little bit better. And this looks like a little tiny stream, but it's a massive map. So that's your water. Got it? You've got your water source and you've got your sea level elevation. So that's how you want to kind of mix and balance your water. Okay. Next one is your resources. This one's pretty cool. It's just, say we want fertile land. Let's make our brush all big like this and say, all right, this area right here will be fertile because it's kind of right up on this lake, and you know, maybe they do some irrigation. But then ore, man, so this is what you got to keep in mind. See, I can put a bunch of ore on this mountain, but that's outside even the 25 square mark. If ever you can't see it, because it is hard to see, click on this little gearbox and it shows you this is my 5x5, all right? I just didn't want to click in it because I'm trying to go in order, but remember, this is, and the point of this one is it's going to choose where's your starting location, right? So that's where we're going with this. But this is a good idea to remember. Okay, so that farming land is good. So let's go back to our resources. Let's do some oil. We'll do some oil down in the bottom, like down here. Okay, just paintbrush it in. You can dab it in all gentle like that. You can do the brush strength, but the resources in Skylines are a bit weak at the moment. I mean, I notice like I zone ore, I wait a week in game, and like the ore's gone. So I want more resources. That's what we're going for here. So I provide a lot of ore in my maps, or that's oil. Let's provide ore right here into the hills. And now trees. Trees is just fun. Go full brush size. Brush strength. This I like to do about halfway, and I like to pick like one of these, okay? Pick a plant and just drag it all over the map. Now, just don't drag it into the water, or you will be placing trees in the water, and it looks kind of strange. Now, bushes. Let's go a lot of bushes down here, up here, around here, all this. Drag this. So the blue icon, that's what you're selected on. Let's zoom in, and you can actually start seeing what I'm doing. Boom. I wanted to do it so you get the big change effect, so it looks like we haven't done much, and then all of a sudden, boom, it's going to look just epic. Now, here's the big change. We are dealing with... Here it is, wait for it, desert. So, next icon is the roads. We're going to skip that and go to this one right here. You can place animals, like animal spawn points. You can place sand, that's what this one is. Now, this gets a little confusing, and you can do smoke. You can actually have smokestacks. So let's have a mysterious smokestacks from over here, because I've never messed with that. But the sand, we're going to go full brush, full strength, and full deal here. Boom, we're going to make it all sand. Now it's going to be bright and intense, but it'll look better in the end. It is desert, so let's do it. Let's make a desert map. Now, what took me a while is once I made beaches, like I was playing with another map and I was trying to make beaches. And you go, okay, well here's sand, where's grass? Well, grass is right click, just opposite click. And there is no big just drag and drop sand on the whole map. That'd be nice, but whatever. This was fun. We got a little bit painted. And now, for the big reveal, check out how cool all these little plants and stuff look now on the sand. So it's starting to grow out. We've got our water source. We're going to pump up our water source here, maybe add another water source here, because this is where the actual water source is truly coming from, is up here. But I wanted to put one right at the top of this river. So it's really nice and strong now, but this is what I want. I want to show what we're taking away by putting up the Hoover Dam. So when you dam this up, it's going to actually get a lot more realistic, and this is going to shrink down, and the lake is then going to build out. So because the dam's not in place, I'm choosing to build it out this way. Now, boom, we've got that all in place. I think it's looking a lot better. So what now? We've got our trees, we've got our resources, we've got our water. We've got to do our outgoing connections. Remember this guy who popped up right at the beginning? He told us what we needed to have. See, you got to have a stream in the starting area because you got to have a place for your water and your sewage. Keep that in mind, right? I mean, water you can get from a water tower, but sewage, you've got to at least have a stream to dump into, okay? And then you have to have one incoming highway connection and one outgoing highway connection. Makes sense. You can't have Hotel California out here and not let anybody in. So, what you want to do is click on your freeway here. You get freeways and your little on-ramps. You get your intersections. You get your train tracks, your boats, which I am generous, and I like to, even though this is a lake and it's kind of unrealistic, water required. Is there not enough water here? Not like this. Ooh, I see. So once I get this filled in with more water, I might add a harbor lane just to make it, you know, a nice flexible deal there. Now the airplane path is kind of cool. This is for the big overhead airplane. Like when you're just playing in the game, you're going to see a little plane flying over this. That's what that is. And you can get two of them. They can't cross each other, or you would have plane collisions. So I like to have, let's see, we'll have one there going that way, and then we'll have planes going the other way, this way. Okay, so path that way, path this way. And here we go. Intersection in the starting area, which is here. So right mouse to spin that around. We're going to drop that slope too steep, so we're going to find somewhere where it works. And right there. Nice. Nicely done. Okay. Now, what I want to do here is let's get our terrain map. Let's get our level tool. Half and half. No, let's go a little bit bigger there. Wow, that's not what I meant to do. See, we will quickly fix this with some brush changes. And then what we'll do in the end, smooth all this out, and it'll be as if it never happened. But this whole area, let's change it up a bit. Not too much. But we're making some plateaus where it used to not be so plateaued. We're The reason for this, we're kind of making our own Grand Canyon. It'll give us more flat areas to build on. Whoop! What I want down here is more... Yeah, there we go. Brush strength is way too strong. That's what's killing me. That brush strength. There we go. So something like this. We can maybe even have like some little area down here. I right-clicked there. I like these bumps. I'm going to keep that. You can move over here if you want really flat lands. This... Yeah, let's get rid of that. And there we go. I think that cleaned that up a lot. Let's get a lot more water flowing out of that. Boom. Alright. Maybe do another water source here. Like that. Okay. See, a lot of this might be falling off backwards too. But I think this is going to get it out. Maybe another here. So you got to just keep playing with it. See what works. And you gotta wait. That's the thing with the map editor. You still kind of have to sit here and wait and see what happens with the water and all that. So, what do you guys think? This was a good start. I'm gonna fine-tune it a little bit more, and then I will be posting the Hoover Dam map. But I definitely like to go in and play it all more. I mean, you get the idea. You're gonna have to put train tracks from one edge to the other. We can do some cool stuff like this. Height too high. I don't know, that looks pretty cool to me. Let's see if I can find something here. Maybe something like this. Yeah, why not? So we'll get our train tracks going straight across. I will even start stretching it out. No. I'm going to leave it like that. You got to grow to get to the tracks. And then this guy, we're going to go curved roads. This way. This is going to kind of go right along the line. This guy. Oh, double clicked when I didn't want to. That's fine. Doing curved roads because I don't like doing straight roads when I build out my highways. It just looks terrible. It's too jagged, and that's, I mean, a lot of the in-game maps even kind of are a little too jagged. It does that. It's like straight. So I like to clean all that kind of stuff up. So there we go. We actually have everything we need. Recommended it once a ship path. I kind of want to do that and have fertile areas in the map. Now, I didn't have fertile areas in the map, so I can go over here to our resources. Fertile. Let's make a... Whoa, I got you. Nothing fertile, like you're talking. Wow. I forgot that actually got rid of it. So we'll do some fertile lands here. Like this. Okay. And we'll do fertile lands here. Oh. And we'll go from there. So cool. I'll keep working on it and see you guys soon.